Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I am so sorry, it's been such a long time, but today we're not here with one of my cat OCs. Oh no, we're here with my main human character, Meet Raven. She is absolute powerhouse boss of a person. And I thought it might be, and you might have seen edits of her posted all over my channel. But what you haven't seen is a drawing. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of her lore, and we're going to draw her because I absolutely love this baby. And she deserves more recognition on my channel than she actually gets. So yeah, let's hop. We're already hopping straight into this. Raven, also known, well, Raven, born as Rose Evans to a lady who died a long time ago, very long time ago. She was named Iris Evans, and she died during childbirth. And there's going to be a lot of trigger warning for this, including blood, scars, and also lots of mentions of death and killing. So if you really don't like that, do feel free to hop along and visit one of my other YouTube videos on this channel, or even go check out one of my edits, though most of them do have blood in them, but not to the level that we're going to see here today. Now, let's get into the explaining. Raven, also known as Rose or Rosie to her close family. Growing up, she was a misfit, even in her family. She was born into a family of not thieves, but into a family of assassins. She was taught from a very young age, from about the age of 4, how to kill people, how to make it like an accident, and how to get away with it, and also the best escape routes in her city. Now, as you can imagine, this caused a lot of problems for such a young child, mainly because she never got to interact with kids her age, so she never actually found out that what she was doing wasn't normal. Nor was it a normal family thing to be taught how to harm people or defend yourself. At least, not to the extent that she was. Now, as she grew older, she slowly realised this wasn't what she wanted to do. It was around the age of 6 that everything well and truly set in for her. Her dad sent her out alone for the very first time and tasked her to kill a whole family, on her own. And as you could probably imagine, this caused a lot of issues, mental health-wise, as she was told there was no children in the family, but when she got there, there was a 2-year-old. And there was also a 6-year-old who both will become very important later on in this story. But we'll figure this out soon. Okay? So, as she was tasked to kill this family, she killed the dad, she killed the mum, and then the 2 kids were picked up by her family friend, Arabin. He will also become extremely important later, but he's not so important now, so we'll move on. Her dad was called James, and he was extremely strict on her and all of her siblings. each of who we'll meet later on. Now, in order to be strict, you may ask, what exactly did he do to them? There was an expectation within the family that you killed whoever you found, left no survivors, unless it was directly ordered. Now, Rose didn't like killing. It wasn't her style. But she didn't want to, upset her dad and get one of his punishments. So she did as she was instructed to, each and every time, no matter how much it hurt. Kids, adults, whichever. Eventually, she came to a deal with her dad. No kids. Ever. That would be her siblings' job from now on. And it did. And this worked for a while, until her dad directly ignored what she had requested and sent her after a kid. She didn't do it though. She escaped. She escaped that night. She ran away and she discovered a camp. She discovered a building. Now, mind you, as I forgot to mention, this is all in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. So she's ducking zombies while doing all of this. By this time, she's turned 9. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to defend herself in the worst of these situations. And she finds a building. It's the old hospital. And she knows for a fact from her time that there are people inhabiting this hospital. So, like a complete and utter moron, she watches it from a distance for a little while. Waiting. And one day she comes across a person who invites her in, and she takes up the offer. Worried. And now she's part of this camp. She meets the captain of the camp, the second in charge, Dex, and he's amazing to her. And he will be very important very soon. And it's over this time that she starts to realise just how bad James was. And you might ask how she didn't realise sooner. He was very good at what he did, in making himself seem absolutely fine in exactly everything he wanted to do. And this does leave a lasting impact on Raven later on. Now, while she does settle in with this camp, James is still out there. And it's becoming more and more apparent that he's after her and he wants her back. So she is eventually adopted by the captain and the leader of the camp, Dex and Una. And they decide that together they're going to keep her safe. But that proves to be more difficult than expected. One by one, James sends each and every single one of Raven's siblings after her. And one by one, each one is killed and left somewhere for the infected to get. And slowly but surely, he gets more and more and more agitated. Eventually, he comes after her himself. But at this point, she's done. She's become a good fighter. She's been trained. She knows how to defend herself. And she says to Dex and Una, let him come. I'll deal with him. And she does. she shot him dead. But at least she thought she did. It's not the end of our story there yet. After weeks of not quite knowing who she was, she eventually finds a person who makes her feel safe, who makes her feel happy. And both her parents are extremely supportive of this. Well, they have to move camps, and these two, one of them dies on this trip to move camps, and Raven is devastated by the loss. But as her parents explained, time moves on, so she must as well. And she does. She moves on, she keeps her leveled head, but it really won't last long. She's worried, she's scared, and frankly, she's lost all sense of who she was once. And her parents are starting to notice this shift. She's more jumpy. She'll go into James's training more often than she ever did. And one day it all comes to a massive head when an infected breaks into their new camp. And she does a stupid thing, and she goes after it on her own. And she gets herself and several others severely hurt. She frets over this for a long time, worrying about the people who got hurt, despite Dex and telling her it's absolutely okay and, everyone makes mistakes. But to her, it's absolutely not okay. She got these people hurt, and they're not very happy with her. Did she really deserve that anger, being a person with a troubled past? Probably not. But was she going to get the brunt of this anger? Yeah, she was. Did her parents try and help her out? Of course they did. This is why she chose them. They were awesome. They actually did try and protect her. But they can't protect her from everything, especially not when she caused the issue. Right? It's not healthy. So instead of turning into her parents' help, she decided to try and fix it all herself. And it went even worse. And it completely destroyed her relationship with her parents for many, many years. And she hated herself for it. And this relationship, even years in the future, still isn't mended. And she completely blames herself for the misfortune. She really shouldn't, though. It's not entirely her fault. She was a kid. She did and said dumb things. Everyone did at the time. Everyone was more than scared. The world had just ended. What were they supposed to do? Sit and laugh about it? She sure couldn't. So why should everyone else? Times got bleaker after this. She no longer knew who she wanted to be or even what she should be. And that's when she started wearing the collar you see in this artwork. She figured that if she was going to ruin someone's life, she might as well make her crime, or as she called it, apparent. and she started wearing something to commemorate the lives that she she quote unquote ruined. And now she wears this constantly as a reminder to herself. And despite her parents' constant attempts to make her feel better, nothing ever works. And she's left there day after day, wondering how she really actually ended up deserving all her misfortune. And year after year, she slowly realizes that what if she doesn't? And it's taking a while. It's going to take another long while, but she slowly realized maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe there is something better out there for me. I've just got to find it. Something her parents always used to teach her is you got to treat others how you wish to be treated. So she's learning, very slowly, but she's learning how to talk to the people around her. Talk to the people who previously hated her. I think if I had to give this girl one quote from anything, it'd be, and I swear by the sword, if you're in, get on board. And I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Ready as I'll ever be. And this is because of how often she tried to fix things and how often it went wrong. And I think in this artwork you can obviously see where I'm painting the multicolored stripes in her hair. Each color represents a different member of her family. Red, as you can see being painted here, is her mum, Nina. Purple, as I'm just about to paint, right here, is her dad, Dex. And the green, well, the green is a new person that I haven't actually talked about yet. But her brother Elliot. They're not biological siblings, not by a long shot, but they treat each other as such, and it's a cute relationship that they've had for a while now. And she's never been as sure of who she wanted to be with since she met him. And of course, like every sibling, they've had their ups, they've had their downs, possibly more than anyone else in the whole camp, but they've always figured out a way past it, and they're still siblings, even to this day. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about Raven and her love interests. She has had more than what she needs, more than anyone should ever have, I think. But that's not entirely her fault. Her first love interest vanished off the face of the earth, and she could never find him no matter how hard, or how often, or how desperately she looked. And eventually she gave up on ever finding him. It took months to do that, though. And then she met someone else. A guy called Aiden. And they clicked in an instant. They were together for the longest out of any of her interests. And it all came to a head one day when he vanished and was returned to camp in a body bag. And it took her barely any time to move past because of how much she felt that comfort was needed for her to be able to move past. So she moved. She moved on too quickly. This was something her parents noticed. She moved on far too quickly, and it worried them. And then that woman betrayed her completely. And after that, it took her months to fall in love again. But when she finally did, the new lady also betrayed her. And this is why I haven't spoken either of their names. She refuses to, and now I will too. And as we move on to this next section, please be warned. The second lady to betray her eventually came back. Just randomly appeared one day. And Raven, obviously, wasn't very happy with her, for very good reason. And while they didn't fight, they didn't talk much either. But Raven let her stay. She wasn't sure why, whether it was because she missed the woman or because she couldn't be bothered to fight anymore. No one will ever really know. She doesn't talk about it. Not now that that woman is dead, at least. But the woman who originally betrayed her, she returned to kill, and Raven protected her. And she really shouldn't have. But now she rests happily in a love triangle. Two people. Kyoko and Riot. And these two, they do love her. More than anyone else ever has. And she has a daughter, who is actually the 6-year-old I mentioned earlier on in the story. The one whose parents she killed. And feeling bad for this girl, she took her in, trained her, and taught her Spanish. She's turning this girl into the one she could never be. And she's well and truly proud of it. And while obviously her daughter does know about her true past, she doesn't blame Raven, not in the slightest. She was forced to do all this. Arabin was dead, James was dead, and everything was okay. Sort of. She had a son as well, the 2-year-old. He died, and she was left wondering whether she was well and truly worthy of parenthood. After a while, she decided that no, she wasn't. But her parents, they brought her back from that. And now she really does. She thinks of herself in a better light. A lot better than she used to. And everything's going well for her now. Sort of. But she has everything she needs. Goodbye. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I know everything's a little upsetting when it comes around to it, but after all, some OCs do have more trauma than others, especially in my world. And it just so happens that this one has some of the most. And what I'm painting on her right now is a little bit of blood. So please, please, please do look away. But there is a high amount of death following her in her story, a high amount of guilt, and so much more that I should not have given her. And if there is one OC that I could go back and say, I've gone too far here, I think it would be her. She has gone through too much. And I do occasionally regret putting her through this much. But in the end, it has made her a better person. And it's made me realise that not everyone's lives are gonna be perfect or even nice, but everyone's lives can be better. We just have to help them through it. And she found a family that would help her through literally anything. And this is your sign to go find that sort of person for you. Have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe. Silent Stalker, out.